It is time once again for the weekly closes on our favorite Bitcoin miners. We're going to start here with Clsk. Let's get going. So we can see here that we got a nice big green volume, at least compared to the week before, the week prior, Christmas week here going, and that mostly happened at the end of the week here. It was kind of just a full drive up here. It wasn't quite a bullish engulfing candle that we got here for the weekly, but we did get above the midpoint of that previous candle. Now, if we can get up and above $11 going into next week, that'll be a good sign for the life of Clsk, and I'll throw on some drawings here to show that right now. Let's bring up the drawings. Okay, so we got a bit of a falling wedge here on the weekly, and if we can get above it, then that would open us up to re-entering this ascending channel here and potentially going back up to this yellow line right there, that dotted line, which next week would be at about $14. That'll take us right in the middle of the void of this volume profile here, so we might even just drive up to $15, which would be the bottom of this volume shelf here, where we see the highest point of volume being at 1581, and that would be an area where I would expect us to struggle. Let's take a look here as we go. So yeah, we came down to the 200 weekly moving average, which obviously was a good opportunity here to pick up some shares, as we did drive up 10% off of that, so not bad, not too bad. We do need to get above 1220 and 1230, which is going to be right in line with this bit of volume here on the right here. That's where this volume spike ends, is at the 21-day moving average, and then we got the void all the way up to 1564 there before we start hitting into the bottom of this volume spike there. That was going to hold us down for a little bit. Okay, we did get a cross down on the MACD on the weekly. Yes, I'm bringing back the MACD here. It's been a little while since I've looked at it. Average force is the wrong way. Stochastic ribbons is the wrong way. It's pink on purple, so that is also bad. Still, we need to see that flip. We need to see this pink one turn yellow, the purple one turn green. When the purple one turns green, then you know we're really cooking on this thing. But until then, we're really potentially going either way, even when we see good weeks. So we could continue to break down, and that would be really unfortunate if we were to see that. Okay, so if I turn off this one, and we bring up something else I want to point out here. It's just really scary and I don't like. There's a huge and disgusting head and shoulders here. So let's go ahead and bring up back the drawings here, and I'll draw it out for you. So we got, it starts down here at the orange line, which is all the way down at 427. But we got the shoulder there, big gross head there, and then another shoulder. Boom. The neckline's going to be basically right where we are. If we go any lower, we enter this void here. If we enter this void, we could very easily find ourselves all the way back down at $4. So, and that would be off of this head and shoulders right here that I'm drawing out. And if we enter the void, oh man, we're going to have a rough time if we enter that void. If we enter that void, we've crossed the neckline of that head and shoulders, and we could find ourselves all the way down at $4 on Clsk, and that would be quite decimate pretty much all of our positions, and that would suck. That would suck really bad. So yeah, that's what's going on with Clsk right now. So we are looking for a move out of this falling wedge sort of pattern here, a move up above this volume spike here. I want to get back into this ascending channel, and I honestly we need to get above $18 before Clsk is in any kind of safety, and that's it. Now they are growing faster than their peers. They are doing convertible notes instead of dilution. Bitcoin is going up. So those things are likely to drag this thing up higher, but we are at a scary little spot here. This is support. We are on support. It's not the strongest support. The strongest support being all the way down at that $4 level. But I'm not saying it's going to go down there. I'm just saying we're in between either going into this void above and clearing 15, or this void below and going all the way down. So it's in a precarious spot right now for Clsk. Let's take a look at BitDigital. How's BitDigital doing? So BitDigital came into my white line here, which is going to be my long-term trend line here, which goes all the way back to April. And we bounced off of it, and we bounced off of it pretty hard. We were up 16%. Most of that was on Friday. We got a bit of a long way to go. We got to get all the way up over $5 on BitDigital before we're out of this volume. Look at all this volume right here. We're just stuck in this huge, massive chunk of volume. You can see on the MACD here, we did cross down a couple weeks ago, but it looks like we are starting to flatten out, and that's good. Average force is still going the wrong way, as well as the stochastic ribbons on the weekly. So none of that is looking really particularly good. We could continue to grind lower unless Bitcoin decides to give us a good move up. We still have yet to touch this line, this yellow line on the top here, which is going to be up at about 627. I'd really like to see BitDigital this cycle, because right now we're on Ethereum, and remember, BitDigital is connected to Ethereum, and January, February, March, April, those 4 months generally are quite good for Ethereum, which means they should be quite good for BitDigital. I'd like to see BitDigital get up into this support or this resistance back here around the $7 to maybe even $8 range here by summer. That's what I'd like to see for BitDigital, and that is an area where I would start selling off some of my BitDigital and taking some profits there, potentially looking for it to dive one more time before the end of the year, where we may see another spike upward for BitDigital. We'll see if we get that or not. So we do have a bit of an inverted head and shoulders, but it did fail. It failed. So we'll show you here. So we had like shoulder here, head there. Whoops, that was terrible. That was terrible. Shoulder, head, another shoulder, but then it failed right here. It failed, and we came all the way back down. So if we can get back up and above this yellow line there, that would be a huge move. And we would absolutely see that like high 7s, low 8s on BitDigital if we can get above this line and confirm a candle above that line. But right now everything is looking kind of weak and rough. And now this could be a reversal candle here. Now the only reason I'm not convinced it is yet is because if we go here and we draw on the body of this candle, well, we needed to drive just a little bit higher. We needed to go to 376 and close at 376. We closed at 369. We needed to go to at least 376 to go halfway up this big ugly red candle here, and we didn't get that. So I'm resistant to say that this is a reversal candle. Now, we have seen moves like this before, and if we continue to drive higher, that would be fantastic. I really want to see it get back into this ascending channel here and drive all the way up to the upper limits of this. So let me delete this 520. It's not important anymore. This one is now the one to beat, 576. Okay, let's move on to Bitfarms. Bitfarms is doing very badly. It's up 5.5% last week. We are in this void here, and I'll draw it. We're in this void right here, which is a bad place to be. We don't want to be there. We could come, honestly, all the way down to 123. We could come all the way down to 123 still on Bitfarms. It is not out of the woods yet. It needs to conquer this yellow dotted line right here. It needs to get up and above that yellow dotted line. I mean, ideally, the first step is above 233, which would be this volume spike right here. It's got to get above 233. That's step number one. Step number two is this yellow line here. Once we conquer that yellow line there, honestly, step number 3 is to take out this high here at 392. If it cannot do that, and it cannot do that soonish, we're going to have a really bad time. And in fact, I need to fix this channel here, because this really isn't the channel that we're looking at anymore now, is it? Let's see here. Be something like this, actually. Be more like there, and more like this. Let me bring that in. There we go. Bring that in a little bit. Okay, about right there-ish. Okay, so this channel is what we're in. We're in this descending channel. Now, we know descending channels tend to break to the upside. And you could say that this was a bit of a flag pattern potentially off this inverted head and shoulders. So we had an inverted head and shoulders right there, right? That played out, and then we started to flag, but then it just went too long. It went too long, and now this is too long. We can't say that's a flag anymore. It is a descending channel. Those sometimes, or they often tend to break to the upside, and if it did, it would return to the highs here at 390, but who knows when. I'm not waiting around to find out when or if we're going to go to $1 first. So that's why I'm not in Bitfarms anymore, and I haven't been for some months now. We can see that the MACD is just driving lower. It's just driving lower and lower and lower. Average force is getting stronger to the downside. Stochastic ribbons are looking pretty awful as well. Any upside moves tend to be very weak and easily defeated. So yeah, this week brought lows at 148, and that really sucks. But Bitfarms, it's still not looking good. It's still just not looking good. Mara, on the other hand, is not looking too bad. We're getting right back up to that most traded zone at 1980 here. We beat this yellow line here, so let me delete that one. The next line we need to beat is this yellow line up here. We beat that, then we have room all the way up to about 25.30. Now, once we get above $20, once we get back above $20, I'm going to start going back into calls on Mara. I did take a loss last week. Now, this is doing a very similar pattern actually to Bitfarms, but anyways, I did take a loss last week, and I'm looking to recover that going into the next weeks and months as we get back into that ascending channel and get back up to the top of it somewhere in the 30s. But we did have an inverted head and shoulders just like in Bitfarms, and then we came here and started doing this huge long flag pattern just like Bitfarms. But the difference is we're actually kind of holding up slightly here. We're holding up just at that neckline for the most part on Mara, and we are above it currently, or we're right at it currently, excuse me. And we are also forming a bit of another inverted head and shoulders here, and we really just need to turn around and get back above $30. If we get above $30 on that, this thing could shoot as high as 40 very, very, very easily on Mara. And the reason I have more conviction in Mara than Bitfarms is because Mara has way, way more Bitcoin, has way more Bitcoin, has way more exahash, and it's just a much bigger company. It gets a lot more attention. So when this thing moves, it's going to move up big. Now, we are crossing to the downside on Mara, so I'm watching that right here on the MACD. The MACD is trying to cross to the downside. Average force looks bad. We do have pink on purple on the stochastic ribbons, but they are thin here, and they could pinch and turn right back up. So above $20, well, let's say 21. Above $21, I'm looking at Mara all the way up to 30, maybe even higher. Let's go take a look at Riot. How's Riot doing? Riot is actually holding up one of the best. One of the best. In fact, this is looking like a bull flag right here. Riot is looking like it's pulling off a bit of a bull flag. And we are above this volume spike right here. We're above this volume spike right there, which is good. The stochastic ribbons are looking good, not great, but good. We are above the zero line on the MACD, and it is pointing slightly up. Okay, average force has also gone flat. It hasn't gone down, it's gone flat. So Riot is actually showing the strongest chart right now. Okay, Riot is showing the strongest chart. And if we can get up and above $14.80 on Riot, this thing could easily find its way up to $20. Okay, Riot is now becoming one of the best performing Bitcoin miners of the year. And that might just be because they've been a sleeper for such a long time. Beaten down heavily all the way down to 328 back in 2022, in September of this year, all the way down to 650. And if you were picking it up at 650, I mean, good job. And if this thing can get up and above 1472, yeah, we're going to 20. We're easily going to 20. And I would consider calls above 1420, 1482. Above 1482, I'd consider calls on Riot all the way up to $20 here. Let's take a look at Iren. Now, how's Iren doing? Iren. You came all the way down to where my cup and handle here was almost nullified. So it can't return. It can't go back down. Average force is not pointing the right way. Stochastic ribbons are not pointing the right way. The MACD is getting real close to crossing to the downside. I don't like that. So it's not looking great. It's not looking great. But if we can get one more green candle next week, and ideally if we can get up into the 13s, that would be really nice for Iren. Let's take a look at some of their moving averages here. Yeah, we hit the 21 and we bounced off of it. That's actually a good sign. That's actually a good sign. We take out this yellow line here. We have room all the way back up to the top of 1584. That would be fantastic for Iren. That'd be really, really, really great for Iren. And of course, if we continue to the downside, we're going to come all the way down to 744, maybe even back to the lows of $6. So hopefully we don't see that. But that's Iren. Iren's a pretty easy chart to look at here. We're either getting a cup and handle or we're coming all the way down to support. That's it. Those are the only two options for Iren, really. I mean, I guess it could go sideways, but nobody wants to watch that. Corz, how's Corz doing? Took a little time to load there. Corz actually looks great. Okay, so this is, I take back what I said earlier. Riot is not the strongest looking chart of the Bitcoin miners. Corz is the strongest looking chart of the Bitcoin miners. And right now is actually a great opportunity. So we got a morning star. Okay, so look at this. We came down, we went up into the highs, we came down to the 21, bounced, and we bounced off of a morning star pattern. That is these three candles right here. Those are morning stars. We got up above the midpoint of this red candle here. That is a morning star. If next week shows any green movement at all, we could easily find ourselves all the way back up at the all-time highs here, around 1869, 1870. Within a week or two, we could easily see that happen. Now, the MACD is not agreeing with us. Okay, it's not agreeing with us. It's pointing down. Okay, that's lame, but it's happening. Average force also not agreeing with us. It is also coming down. So there are some headwinds. Stochastic ribbons aren't looking good either. Let's go down to the 2 days. Not 1 day. I want to see 2 days. Well, 1 day is not so bad. Take a look. Ooh, never mind. Yeah. I like Corz. I like Corz where it is. We're about to get a cross up on the daily here. For the MACD, average force is going the right way. Stochastic ribbons are green on yellow on the daily. Yeah, this one's got room all the way up, back up into this ascending channel here at 1641 right now, and potentially all the way back up to the top of this ascending channel. Corz is the strongest looking chart. I take back what I said earlier. Corz is the strongest looking chart. What about on the 2 day? Yeah, it's flattening out on the MACD. Average force still not looking good, but we got something, at least a bull flag, or sorry, at least potentially a bear flag. So we could see it come up to $17. Watch it at $17. That could be a level of resistance that it may or may not break. Let's go 1677. That's actually one. We're going to make that orange. That's cautionary. Could have made it yellow, I guess. We'll make it yellow. We'll make it yellow. That's caution. Watch it there. We could move up to here. Watch it here. It gets above this. We're going back up to the all-time high. Okay, let's move back to the weekly. Let's take a look at Wulf. How's Wulf doing? Wulf was up 13% yesterday. Nice. Wulf was up 12.48% last week. We tried to come down to the is that the 50 or the 200? That's the 50. Down to the 50-week moving average, which is at 465, but we bounced up and slightly above the 21-week, which is good. If we hold the 21-week at 593, as long as we hold that, we've got a chance at the 200-week, which is at 697. This isn't a dangerous spot, though, because we did have a double top right here, right? We had a top, and we crossed under the neckline there. And I made a weird face. We crossed under that neckline. And when we cross under that, so we could back test it, right? We could back test this neckline at 652. And if it does not get above it, if it doesn't get above it, we're coming back to the 50, which is at 460. So be careful of that neckline at 643. Right there. Well, 645, whatever. It's close. Right here. This 5-week moving average. This is the 5-week moving average. If we reject at the 5-week moving average, we're coming back to the 50 on Wulf. So pay attention to that. Watch that close, because we did get a double top right here, and that double top isn't done until we come all the way down to the 50, maybe even a little bit lower into like $4. Okay, so watch that close if you're in Wulf. If we get above this yellow line here, we get above this yellow line, and above the red line, the 200-week moving average. Ideally, we need to conquer the 200-week moving average. If we can conquer the 200-week moving average and get a candle that is opens and closes without touching it above it, notice none of these candles did that. None of them did. But if we get one that does do it, that opens and closes above it without touching it, we've got room all the way up into even $10 or $11, $10 or $11. We got room up to that. Okay, so watch Wulf for that. Let's take a look at HUT. How's HUT doing? HUT is doing just like Corz. Just like Corz. We came down to the 21-week moving average and we bounced. And if we can get back above the 5-week moving average at 24.32, then we've got room to go back up to the all-time high here at $32. Okay. Now, none of the momentum indicators are with us right now, except that maybe the stochastic ribbons are kind of going sideways versus pointing down, which is not bad. Let's take a look. Let's drill down to a 3-day, see if that shows us anything. No. Let's take a look at a 2-day, see if that shows us anything exciting. Also no, except yellow there. Yellow there is good, because if that comes up and starts to flip the slow, then we could see it on the stochastic. We could see it go back up to 32. Okay, let's look at the daily. We're about to get a cross up on the MACD for the daily. Average force is going the right way. This is kind of looking a bit weak. It's not looking great. It could go either way still. So there are some bullish looking moves potentially in order here, but it is a bit dicey looking. I would want to see it trading solidly above the 5-week moving average, and it cannot break the 21-week moving average. Okay, let's take a look at Cifr. Cifr, just like Wulf, exactly like Wulf, but that actually hit the 50 moving average and the 200-week moving average below it. Those are holding it as support. It has the exact same chart as Wulf. So basically what we need to see on this one is we need to see it get up above the 5-week moving average here. Notice none of these like really got away from it except this one. It's got to get up and above the 5-week moving average at 570, and drive. Then it's got room to drive higher up to this yellow line here. It hits that yellow line and rejects. That would be bad, but if it gets above it, we can go to the previous high, or maybe even a little higher, around $8, maybe even $9 on that. But notice we came to this volume shelf right here. Let me draw it. We came to this volume spike right here. and we're above it. So we bounced off of it. That's a good sign. So that's actually kind of bullish sign. We did cross down on the MACD, which is no good. Average force is pointing down. Stochastic ribbons are pointing down. Let's see if there's any hope in like the 2-day. The 2 days turning yellow, but that could end up being just a bear flag, where we come up maybe even to like 637 and then fail. So watch the retest of this. Watch the retest of the underside of the 21-week moving average is good. Yeah, watch the retest in the 21-week, the 21 moving average on the 2-day. If it fails there and rejects, then we come all the way back down to the bottom of the move and finish out this double top. If we conquer it, and we do have a morning star, a nice morning star right here with a big engulfing green candle here on the 2-day. Nice morning star there on the 2-day. If we can drive above the 21 on the 2-day, then we can go all the way back to the top of the range with ease on Cifr. Okay, let's take a look at HIVE. HIVE is still probably super disappointing. It is super disappointing. Not much to see here. It's just basing out at the same base it keeps coming to that it has been coming to since 2023 for 2 years. It's just coming right back to this exact same base over and over and over again. HIVE is a dud. It's a dud. I have no interest in talking about that further. Okay, Soluna, also a bit of a dud, not gonna lie. This one was the lotto play. This was the zero or hero. And we are basing out in the same place we've been basing out since October 2023, so over a year. Came all the way back down to this. This one needs to get up and above 461 before anything interesting happens. Now remember, this was a zero or hero play. This was very much a lotto play, meaning we were not expecting a whole lot out of this move. Now, if we do get what we're looking at here, now watch, you'll see it here in a second. Let me bring this out. Let me turn that off. Okay, so we do have a wicked inverted head and shoulders right here, right there. One shoulder, head, and then the shoulder. And if we can get back up and above this green line here, that's $7, this thing takes off. Now that's a big if, and that's why the position size on this is very, very, very small. I've got like 200 bucks in this thing. Very, very small. We could see it coming up to like even $20 pretty easily, which would be nice. But yeah, this one is not a fundamental play. This is a lotto play. This is a hedge fund gets interested in a micro cap and drives it higher type of play. It is not a play that you'd throw much money into at all. And of course, nothing I say is financial advice or a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. We are seeing a bit of a wedge here, right here. See this? Draw this. Here's this move here. We can go from there. Got a bit of a wedge forming there. Okay, we get above that wedge. We can hit this yellow line. We hit that yellow line. We've got another nested inverted head and shoulders inside of the inverted head and shoulders right here. We've got shoulder, head, shoulder. And we get above this line here. Then we got room all the way back up to that $7, which is the neckline of the larger head and shoulders. And if we can get above that, ooh, you better believe it's going to be nice. Okay, better believe it's going to be nice. All right, anyways, that's Soluna. It's a lotto play. It's nothing. It's not a fundamental play. There's nothing like super interesting going on there. Okay, let's look at Can. Can had a falling wedge and it broke out of it and it's doing a retest here. It's doing a retest. So that's not bad. That's not bad. Can's not looking too bad there based on that formation. Ooh, we are pinching here on the stochastics. We do need to see that go the other way. We need to see that reverse. Okay, we do need to see that reverse. Average force is pointing the wrong way. That also needs to reverse. This is the case on all of them. It's the case on all of them. We came to the this point of high volume right here and bounced. That is a good sign. So we want to see that. It could still go all the way down to the 21-week moving average at $1.75. It could still do that. But Can does have a history of trading all the way up here at $38, so that's pretty exciting. But of course, I'd have to look at dilution to know if that is even possible now by comparison to before. We might only see it come up to like 550 or something. I'd have to look more into it to know about its dilution and other dynamics of this company to really say if it could potentially go any higher than that. But right now, yeah, we're looking at either the 21, so this could end up being a bear flag. This right here could end up being a bear flag. If it is a bear flag, if we break beneath this line right here at $2, if we break beneath $2, we are going to hit the 21-week moving average at 175, potentially even the 50 down at 160. Okay, that could happen if it ends up being a bear flag. And if we lose those two, we're coming all the way to the bottom of the range down here at $1. Okay, that's Can. And if it gets up above 240, then we've got room up to about 260. And if we can conquer 260, then we've got room all the way back up to $3 on CAN. Let's take a look at BTDR. How's BTDR doing? Wow, BTDR is strong. BTDR is so strong. Wow. Okay, that's impressive. That was really weird back there, but let's take a look at this on the weekly. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. All right. This is the only chart that looks great. The stochastics look great. The average force looks great. The MACD looks great. Everything looks really, really good on BTDR. And this is also looking like a bull flag that we are breaking out of here on BTDR. So BTDR, I'd be looking for it to come back and test the 5-week moving average at 2194. Once it did that, once it did that, I'd be looking at this is a strong chart. BTDR, Corz, and what was the other one? And Riot are the three with strong charts. Those are the three with strong charts. Those might be the outperformers for the year. I don't know if I'd buy BTDR at these prices. I'd be looking for it to backtest the bull flag or open and close a candle above $26. Then I'd be looking at BTDR. But wow, yeah, BTDR's looking great. BTDR looks awesome. This is a really good chart. If we lose the 5-week though, whew, man, we got all the way down to $13 a fall. So watch for that potentially. But Corz, BTDR, and Riot are the three charts that are looking really, really, really strong. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. How's Bitcoin doing this week? This is a weekly chart for Bitcoin. So let's see, each one of these is a week. And we got a nice move up, 4.4%. We're up in overbought territory here for the stochastic ribbons, but they're looking like they want to flip the other way. That's good. MACD flattening out. That's not great. Average force is coming down. That is also not great. Let's take a look at the monthly for this bad boy. So the monthly, we got this ugly candle here, but if we can close up and above this previous one here, like $100,000, if we can get up and above $100,000 this month and hold it, you better believe that this candle will be nullified real quick for Bitcoin. Now, this is an ugly candle. This is an ugly, dangerous candle here, but Bitcoin likes to frustrate things like that. So that's why I continue to hold all of my everything for Bitcoin here on that. Let's also take a look at Ethereum, because we know Ethereum, January is a good performer for Ethereum. Ooh, I like this. This could end up being a bit of a morning star for Ethereum. And if we can get up and above, ooh, we're right at it. Basically, we just need to drive slightly higher, and this is a confirmed morning star pattern. If that ends up being the case, look at what I'm about to draw. You're gonna like it. You're gonna like it. Okay, we're gonna go in here, and let me get this brush. We got an inverted head and shoulders, and if we can get back up above 4,100, you better believe this thing's going to run for its previous all-time high. It's going to run for its previous all-time high, which is all the way up here at almost $5,000, and we're going to hit that real fast, and probably going to do it by the end of February, which means BitDigital is going to be having a really good time. So I like Ethereum where it is right now. That's actually looking really good for that. Now, average force momentum isn't really with it, but it just takes a couple of candles to flip that around here for Ethereum, because it's not like in danger. It's not like looking really bad or anything at this time. It's just kind of looking like it's taking a break. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description, as well as the channel bio. Do not sleep on the sticker shop. That is also in the description and channel bio, and have a profitable day.